Oh, all right. Okay, we're live. Let's. Yeah, we have good audio. Let's share Discord. Share Discord. Share. So crit. You suck at barking like a dog. Yeah, I don't know how to bark. How do you bark in English? It's like every language has their own barking. Like all the animals make different sounds in each language. It's this is really incredible. I guess it's like when when you buy a toy that teaches a child what sounds each animal makes. It depends on the country. In each country, it's completely different. Like dogs bark in English completely different than in other languages. Incredibly enough. Okay, let's see if Taryn. Hello.
Who just
They
joined
choose
call,
to
bro?
stay alone. That's amazing.
You
Hey.
said it's amazing.
It is how the animal kingdom works.
That's how the animal kingdom works.
Yeah, bro. Like if I only want one woman, bro, or maybe like two wives. Two wives would be nice.
Dude, you're thinking like you're acting like a virus, dude. That's not fucking. It's fucking disgusting, dude.
Hey,
Don't blame me for calling you on inappropriate behavior. That's disgusting. That's what's destroying the world.
Hey,
Everything that's wrong in the world. That what you're saying there.
hey, does
No
anybody,
sense of responsibility, no place in this world. Just spreading yourself like a virus, and like just conquest and destroying and just overriding everything. Not being a part of nature.
hey, does anybody want to
So,
debate?
like-
Oh no!
So like like the population is kind of decreasing, right, Taryn?
No, it's not. Stop talking crap.
No,
The population is massively increasing out of control.
it's overpopulating.
Everyone
Some
knows that. You know that.
groups-
So stop talking crap, dude.
Some genetic groups are just spiraling out of control, like my genetic group.
Hello. Can anybody hear me?
Sorry, hello. Just
Hi.
a minute, let me stop this.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Pretty good. You want to debate?
Oh. What do you think you could debate about?
We always have the same conversation. We
I
can
know.
debate about
I'm
anything.
asking you. I know. I'm asking you.
I can debate
Because
anything.
I just see. I don't want you folding and saying that you just agree to anything we say, right?
No, that's not.
If we
that's
start
not,
a debate,
that's not.
that's what you did last time.
That's not what I meant. What I meant was to turn it from a passive discussion in which I was falling asleep because I just had lunch into an active discussion. So the difference between passive discussion and active discussion is that in a passive discussion, you talk and I listen and I agree or disagree. In an active discussion, you just ask questions and you activate me and I have to answer. So the preliminary so I just had to skip the preliminaries because I just couldn't, my brain was shutting down. I'm sorry. That was the problem. So I said, why don't you just what I meant to say is let's assume I agree with everything. Now go to the end and ask me whatever you want to ask me, assuming
Well, I was asking you if you agreed with the statements that we were going along with, right? I mean, we were trying to keep you active, right? Part of the discussion. We were taking you through that part of the discussion. You were open for you to comment on it and say anything, but you just decided to say, I'm bored. I agree with everything. Let's assume that I agree with everything because I agree with everything.
I'm sorry.
And then that was it.
I'm sorry. No. It's not that I was bored. It was that my brain was shutting down. I literally fell asleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, because I think that's because what we call ECV.
I don't know what
and
that
that's
means.
just Yeah, I know.
No, but what's important is we had a discussion towards the end. I think we were making good headway because we had a disagreement. You thought that a meter is a meter or something like that, that there is an objective meter out there in the universe. And I
The
showed you
identity. Yeah.
whatever, that you thought there is like an objective definition of a meter.
No, the identity of a thing. It applies to the law of identity.
No,
That's
no,
what we were
no.
saying.
No, I mean, we had an actual, towards the end, we had an actual disagreement that you guys thought that a meter is defined in length. And I said, no, it's actually defined in time. And
Now.
Mhm. Now?
Yes.
Yes, now.
Well, no, a meter has always been a length measurement, right? Straight line.
Yes.
But over time, the definition of
Yes.
a meter has
Yes.
changed,
Yes.
right?
Which makes
That
it,
doesn't change the meter. It just
yeah,
changes
but it
how
does.
people define it.
But it
Well, yeah,
does.
but it's taken it out of the realm of something a normal person can do
No, I don't know what it
to
means normal person can do.
confirm it.
I don't know what that means. I mean, it has a definition, has a,
Mhm.
we try to make it as strict as possible to avoid misunderstandings. As I explained, in $1 trillion contract that depends on the definition of a meter, the difference between the definitions could be billions of dollars. It could.
No, because the meter doesn't change.
So
That's what we were saying.
What do you mean
The meter doesn't
but the
change what it
definition,
is.
but the definition changed. So how could you say the meter doesn't
It's
change
like
if the
it
definition changed?
doesn't change if you alter its vertical position,
Wait,
does it?
no, but the definition changed throughout the years. And this is just one organization. This is just
Yeah, the
according to
definition changed. The actual meter doesn't change. It never changes from one definition to the other.
What do
The
you
meter
mean?
still stays
What do you
the
mean?
same.
What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. The definition changed.
Again, you're saying it again.
If
The meter,
definition- what do you
right,
mean-
is a standard length of measure,
What do you mean standard?
right?
What do you mean standard?
If you measure a meter, right,
What-
and you mark it on the wall,
but who,
right,
Who says what a meter is? Right? Who says?
you measure it, right?
But who says what
Let's
a
say,
meter?
let's say you measured a meter in the 1500s,
But
right?
who
There was a
says-
guy whenever they were building
who
these
says?
houses
but
or
what is-
whatever in
what is-
1500s.
but what
They
is-
measured a meter.
But hold on. But what is
Then
wait.
over time, the
Hey,
definition has changed. But
Hey,
that
wait.
meter that was measured in the 1500s doesn't change because the definition changes.
Wait a minute. But who says what a meter is? Right? A meter is just a word.
It's a standard of
What
measure.
do you mean standard? What do you mean standard? Right? We read on Wikipedia that it has a definition according to
The
one
definitions change, yes.
Right.
Yes, I think we can definitely agree that people define that meter as different things over time, and to get it
Yes,
to fit in with
yes.
modern scientific
Yes,
methods and
yes,
calculations and all
Yes,
that. But
yes.
but the actual meter
What do you mean actual? I don't know what that
doesn't
means.
change.
I don't know
It's
what
a
that means.
measurement.
I don't know what that means. Right? I
You don't know what a measurement is. That's
No, I know
typical.
what a measurement is, but you're saying
right. So have you ever seen a meter ruler?
yes, but who?
Okay, right.
Who,
Now that's a meter,
Ha-
right? It's,
what do you mean that's a meter? How do you know that what I saw is what you saw?
because I asked you if you've seen a
I've
meter
seen.
ruler, and
I
you said
have.
yes.
I have one in my drawer right now. Yes.
Mhm. Okay, well that's a meter ruler then, right? Now,
But
if
who's- but
the
who def-
if the scientific body decides to change the definition of a meter,
What do you mean?
would that change what that stick is in your ruler in your cupboard? Would it actually change?
No.
Okay, that's what we're saying, right? The identity of the meter doesn't change and it isn't really affected by the definition that people call it, right?
Look, what I have in my drawer, you don't even know what I have in my drawer. I have a meter that I bought from Amazon, and right? We know that it changes its length due to temperature, for example. That's
I
just
don't
one
think it
example.
does.
What?
I don't think it does. I mean, like you could stretch that, right? But then
You could also
it
stretch
wouldn't
it.
be a meter.
Right.
Okay. So you can check it, right, and verify that with other meters, right? And
But
then
but
if
you
you
could
find
say,
one that's an outlier, call it a black swan, right? You can say that one there
how do
is
you know?
different
How do you know which is the right one?
because the standard for meter
But how do you know?
is not going to change.
What do you mean the
It's
standard is
it's
not
an
going to change?
identity.
What do you? I don't know what that means. I don't know what you just said.
Have you ever heard of a measurement,
Yes, I've heard.
right? Like a centimeter,
Yes.
a millimeter.
Yes.
Okay,
These are
now,
all derivatives of the meter.
Okay. So do you think they would change?
What do you
Because
mean
there
they?
are
I mean, you're begging the question. We're look, the meter. I know you want there to be an objective meter, like an ideal. I guess in Plato's universe or Aristotle, I don't know. There's like an ideal meter, an objective meter. It exists
have
out
you
there.
heard of like an 8 milli bolt or a 10 milli bolt?
No, I don't know what that is.
You know, like for nuts and bolts.
Oh,
Washers
okay.
and
Yeah, I'm not
things
good
like that.
I don't know anything about those things.
Right. So but you do know that they're measured, right? They come in different sizes.
I guess. Fine. All right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because they come in different sizes, their size is known.
What do you mean? What do you mean is okay? I don't know what that means. Is known.
I mean, like
Known
your
by-
ruler. The ruler is a
you're
known
begging that you
size.
keep
You can't print a ruler
you
that's
keep
not accurate, right?
How do you know? Of course you can. What does that even mean? You
You-
keep begging
you
the
get done by
question.
the trade standards, right? If your
What?
tape measure wasn't showing
How do you
meters to be
know?
actual
How
meters,
can I know?
yeah, it
How
says
can I-
because they fucking measure it.
But how can I trust?
They've already done it. You don't need to worry about it.
How do you
right?
know? How do you
But
know?
I mean, you could check if you want. You could
what does it
go-
mean to check? How can I check? What is the definition of checking?
You check with something. Do you know this scientific method? Have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
Okay. So you understand the process that's needed for you to verify certain things, right? Now, do you think you could apply the scientific scientific method to measurements,
Yes.
mathematical measurements
According to the
involved
current,
around a unit?
yes, according to the current definition, according to the SI body, so we assume a constant light speed. That's an assumption. This is a complete assumption.
See,
What?
right? Do you know what speed is?
Yes.
Go on, give me the.
Distance traveled in a unit time.
Okay, so distance. You've already got distance within your speed, right? And you're going to try and work out a distance?
What? I'm not following. Wait, what's your
I
question?
know it doesn't seem to be. We're working out a meter here, right? Which is a distance.
Right.
Okay. Now, how are you going to scientifically verify that distance?
So I said first of all, according to the SI, right? We're going according to the definition of the SI as we read on Wikipedia yesterday.
Mhm.
Right? We're making
Keep your critical thinking going then while you're saying this, all right?
exactly. So
Okay.
we're right. So we are using their definition, the SI's definition. We don't have to. We don't have to use the SI definition.
But you're going to state that rather
No,
than
we are in this
keeping your
discussion.
critical thinking going.
What do you mean? What?
Okay. Well, I'm asking you how to scientifically verify a meter.
I cannot scientifically verify a meter. I can scientifically verify the meter of the SI. I don't know what a meter is.
You can scientifically verify the meter of the SI.
Yes.
Okay, go on. let's go. I'm willing to go along with you scientifically.
So we have to
verifying
go
this,
to,
okay?
let me reopen the definition from yesterday. Let me see. I sent you a link. So let me find the link. Where did I post it? Is it still there? Yes, it's still here. Where's the link? There is the link.
Wait a minute. Are we debating you or Google? And is this really a debate about a meter?
It's whatever you want it to be. I mean,
Well, no, you're trying to scientifically verify a meter to the SI. I take it.
you just asked me to scientifically verify the meter of the SI according to.
No, you said you would, and I said that sounds interesting. I asked you to just verify how we would scientifically verify a meter.
Not I
You're
denied.
going into a specific,
I cannot.
much more scientific. I'm happy with this one.
I cannot.
Big S though, right?
I cannot scientifically verify a meter. I can scientifically verify the meter according to Wiki, according to SI, according to their latest definition. We can, we can follow the latest definition and reproduce the same results.
Can you? Okay.
I would need, the proper equipment. I don't have cesium, so I would. They say I need cesium, so right. That's we have to assume that my cesium is their cesium. I would have to go to the store and buy cesium. I would make an assumption, or order it online, I guess, and I would have to learn how to get the frequency, like measure its frequency, and based on the frequency of cesium, I would define time. So I would reset a clock. I would build a clock based on cesium. That does not sound like an easy task, but that's what I would have to do.
Is that because these guys have defined time relative to cesium?
That's what we just said. You said, can you verify scientifically the meter of the SI according to their latest definition?
Okay.
So
in order for you to start with that, first off, you have to define time relative to cesium.
Let me just
sounds a little bit complicated, but
what do you mean sounds a little bit complicated?
It doesn't sound very direct, does it? Because what
do you mean direct?
We're trying to scientifically verify a distance.
Well,
and you've started by trying to define time.
Okay, let me just copy paste.
How much does time normally have to do with a distance?
1 second. Let me just take the entire block from Wiki and paste it so we have it in one block. All right, there it is. Now let's read. So the meter, the first paragraph is the meter, blah blah. Okay. So wait, hold on. The meter.
Go on, do it properly. If you're doing a scientific presentation, do it properly. Don't blah blah.
Okay. The meter. Okay, so there's the first problem. It's mètre. I mean, it's spelled differently. I guess
it's French, in
American.
Yeah, of course it is.
No, but it's spelled with I guess British, English speakers from England, they would spell it differently than American. American spelling is meter, and English, like ER. British, you guys, I guess, spell it metra, like metra.
No, ER.
ER. Okay. So anyway, so Wiki says that Americans spell it with an ER, but other people spell it with RE. So
we spell it with an ER.
All right. So they say the meter is the base unit of length in the International System of Units, SI. All right. So
it's the base. It's the starting measurement. It's the unit.
Yeah, according to one specific private organization called the SI. Who owns the SI? Who is the SI? What's so funny? I mean, Look, you want to do it scientifically. I need to.
Well, wait, can you give us another one?
What do you mean another one? Another meter?
Other than that, SI. Go on. Who's its competitor?
I don't know if they have a competitor. I think there is there's ISO. I think the ISO, but okay, the International System of Units, known by the international abbreviation SI in all languages and sometimes pleonastically as the SI system, is the modern form of the metric system and the world's most widely used system of measurement, established and maintained by the General Conference. Wait, who owns it? This is really interesting. No.
It's pretty standard. That's why I was saying it,
Established and maintained by the General Conference on Weights and Measures, the CGPM. So another body created it and maintains it. So it belongs to somebody. It is the only system of measurement with an official status in nearly every country in the world, employed in science, technology, industry, and everyday commerce. The SI comprises a coherent system of units of measurement, starting with 7 base units, which are the second, meter, kilogram, ampere, Kelvin, mole, and candela. The system can accommodate coherent units for an unlimited number of additional quantities. These are called coherent derived units, which can always be represented as products of powers of the base units. 22 coherent derived units. All right, that's good. Anyway, so it's a private organization, apparently. Let's look at the General Conference. The General Conference on Weights and Measures is the supreme authority of International Bureau of Weights and Measures, the intergovernmental organization established in 1875 under the terms of the Meter Convention.
1875.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, that's good.
So, under the terms of the Meter Convention, through which member states act together on matters related to measurement science and measurement standards, the CGPM is made up of delegates of the government. So it's a political organization or intergovernmental organization of the member states and observers from the associates of the CGPM. Under its authority, the International Committee for Weights and Measures, so they created a committee, executes an exclusive direction and supervision of the BIPM. What is BIPM? They didn't even explain BIPM. I don't know what BIPM is. There's no link, nothing. It's a dead end. Initially, the Meter Convention was only concerned with the kilogram and the meter, but in 1921, the scope of the treaty, so it's a treaty, so the meter is a treaty. It's an international treaty. As I said, it's a social contract. Treaty was extended to accommodate all physical measurements and enhance all aspects of the metric system. In 1960, the 11th CGPM approved the International System of Units. So it approved. It's a contract that was, I guess, democratically voted on, usually known as SI. So the meter was voted on democratically. The General Conference, I'm assuming, the General Conference receives the report of the CIPM, and they never linked CIPM, or did they? No, CIPM is the International Committee for Weights and Measures. All right, so that, at least we have that. So the General Conference receives the report of the CIPM on work accomplished. It discusses and examines the arrangements required to ensure the propagation and improvement of the international system of units. It endorses the results of new fundamental metrological, not meteorological, metrological determinations. I don't remember what the word metrological means. I guess it has to do with meter, like measurement. determinations, and various scientific
You
resolutions.
know, you were on about that keeping people engaged, right?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
'Cause it sounds like you've just gone into your self-learning thing, haven't you?
I'm sorry. I'm
Because you've
sorry.
just Googled something. I know it's interesting.
It's fascinating.
Well-
This is, I mean, I didn't know it was so politicized. This is a complete contract. This is absolutely a social
No,
contract.
that's just all of the fluff around it. The
What do you mean?
actual meter
I don't know what that means.
is
I don't know. When you say actual, do you know when somebody says actual, what do you mean when you add the word actual? What do you mean by that? Right? According to you, there's a meter and there's something completely different, and that is the actual meter. What's the difference?
no, they're the same thing.
So why do you add the word actual? What do you come
Because
to
you're
say?
talking about all of the words and social committees and all of that. But at the side of all of the social committees, there's the actual meter.
I don't know
Right?
I don't know the difference. What do you mean by when you add the word actual? I don't know what you mean, honestly.
Mhm. Well, you're talking about a load of people and government bodies,
Yes,
right?
that is the
Now,
actual.
that is not
Oh,
a meter.
okay.
That's
so
people who are talking about
but
things, right? What they decide on is the meter, right? Now, that is a distance, a measurement,
what do
right?
you
That
mean?
doesn't change.
I don't know what that means. I honestly don't know. I mean, I
know
keep
know
showing
what it
you
means. It's really weird.
what?
It's really weird that you don't know. You can't separate the actual meter from a load of people and a scientific bodies that decide different things and the standards of weights and measures.
But they can't.
Right? You can't separate the actual meter and like the kilogram, the weight, and a second and all of that. You can't separate those things from the actual bodies and the scientific jargon that's all related to it.
Look,
That's the problem, I think.
all right. Let me
you have
ask
it.
you. Okay, let me ask you. Where did the meter come from? Right. Let's look at the etymology. The etymological roots. I'm reading from Wikipedia. Etymological roots of meter can be traced to the Greek verb metreo, to measure, count, or compare. So the word meter just means to measure, and noun metron, a measure. So it's just
Yep.
Greek for measure. So when you say
Yep.
meter, basically what you're saying is measure. You're not
It's
specifying
like a king's knuckle or a mile.
whatever.
right?
Yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, which were used for physical measurement, for poetic meter. I don't know what a poetic meter, and by extension for moderation or avoiding
Poetic meter
extreme.
is the cadence, the when
Okay.
you're fitting it into like a metronome.
I see. And by extension, for moderation or avoiding extremism, as in be measured in your response. I don't know what they mean by that. This range.
It means to think about what you're talking about before you actually say things. Because sometimes you can say things that may not be in the moment a correct thing to say.
I see. Okay.
Measure what you say.
I see. So this range of uses is also found in Latin, meteor, mensura, French, mètre, measure, English, and other languages. The Greek word is derived from the Proto-Indo-European root me, to measure. Fascinating. The motto I don't know how to read Greek. Like, this is ancient Greek. This is Metro Crow. In the seal of the International Bureau of Weights and Measures, the BIPM, which was a saying of the Greek statesman philosopher Pittacus of Mytilene, and may be translated as use measure, ! Thus calls for both measurement and moderation. The use of the word maître, French maître, in English began at least as early as 1797. So this is after the creation of the United States, 1766 or something. So, what
it's interesting. Well, go on. Well, how did they start it? What was the actual start?
History of definition. History of
Mhm.
definition. In 16,
Yeah.
this is pendulum. So the subtitle is pendulum or meridian. So in 1671, Jean Picard, whoa, none
Mhm.
other than Jean Picard, measured the
Yeah,
length of
of the
a
Enterprise.
second's. Yes, but that's
He
Jean-Luc.
is the balloon guy, right?
I don't know. I never heard
Okay.
of. I didn't know there was an actual guy, Jean Picard. Anyway,
Yeah, he's a balloon. He went up in a balloon.
all right, measured the length of a second's pendulum and proposed a unit of measurement twice the length to be called the universal tois or toise. Toise
Do you know what that
universelle.
is? What a second's pendulum?
No. I guess
Mm.
it's a pendulum that's really fast, that's designed to measure an exact second.
Really fast.
I mean, exactly 1 second. So it has to.
Yeah, like a clock pendulum. Tick tock.
1 second. I have a message. I gotta
Yeah.
read it. 1 second.
Surely you've heard of pendulum clocks for telling time.
Sure. Yeah. I know what a pen. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what that.
Oh, so
pendulum
he
is.
invented it. In 1675, Tito Livio Burattini suggested the term meter for a unit of length. So in 1675, he came up with a meter for a unit of length based on a pendulum length. So it's the pendulum that measures 1 second, but then it was discovered that the length of a second's pendulum varies from place to place. There you go. Because gravity, I
Really?
guess, of course, because gravity is different on different places on Earth. It depends on the crust, it depends on your
For the
height.
time.
Excuse me?
Time? Or
Yeah.
like
Yeah. The length, I mean, you could use the exact same clock, a pendulum clock, different places on Earth, and it would measure different seconds, different times.
so time would be different. If you
Yes.
did it that way, then time changes.
Yes.
And you have to then alter the length
Yes.
to keep the time accurate. So you
Yes.
can't. It doesn't sound like you can have a pendulum to do time like that, right? You'd have to calibrate your pendulum to the correct time. And
Whatever.
how do you do that?
Whatever. I mean,
How do you know?
I don't know how. I mean, I don't know what it means to know. It's just a given that
But
the
You
same.
don't need to know what time is.
No, I'm saying I don't. You said how.
Surely
would
you know how to know what time is.
No, that's already going into epistemology. So, and I don't know what it
No, I
means.
mean I'm saying how would you know
There's no.
whether the length of your
I don't
pendulum
know.
was
I don't know.
correct
I don't know what you mean by
to
no.
where you were?
I don't
How
know.
did you know
I don't know.
that if your pendulum length was calibrated to your location? How would you know?
So I don't know what you mean by no. All I know is that we can go through a protocol, go through a regime, and
Yeah.
reproduce the results, and we probably.
Yeah, how would you know how you do that scientifically?
Again, I don't know what you mean by no. There is a protocol. You follow the protocol, and you reproduce, and you assume that you reproduce the results based on the protocol. It's just an assumption. I mean, you're
I'm
assuming.
just checking your scientific acumen, let's say.
What?
I'm just checking your ability
That's
to
not. This is
process
this is completely.
a scientific method
This is.
for establishing time
This is.
for the length of your pendulum.
Anyway, so let's continue. Since Eratosthenes, geographers had used meridian arcs to assess the size of the Earth. I don't know what a meridian arc
What?
is. Which in
Since
1669.
what? Say that again.
So since Eratosthenes, geographers had used meridian arcs to assess the size of the Earth.
Geographers.
I don't know.
Seriously?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's a geographer?
I assume it's the guy that makes the maps, maybe. I don't know.
No, that's a cartographer.
I don't know I honestly don't know. I mean, it's. I guess it's the guy that assesses the size of the Earth. I have no idea
Wouldn't
how
that
to do
be
that.
a geometer?
I don't know. Anyway, which in 1669.
Sounds like a made-up
Jean
term. You
Picard-
sure I've got that right? Did you read that right?
Yes. Here, I'll copy paste the
Okay.
paragraph that I'm reading. So, since Eratosthenes, geographers had used meridian arcs to assess the size of the Earth, which in
Have
16
you ever used a meridian arc to
I have
assess
no,
the
I don't
size
even
of
know
the
what it
Earth?
is.
I know.
I
It
never.
can't be common stuff. I've never did anything like that in
I
school.
have no
either.
idea.
Did you ever?
I'm going to hover over a meridian. So it says in geodesy and navigation, a meridian arc is the curve between 2 points on the Earth's surface having the same longitude. I don't know what they mean. The term may refer either.
Between 2 points is a straight line, isn't it?
I don't know what they're talking about. The term may
Why would you want to make a curve between 2 points?
I have no idea. The term
That's
may
weird.
The term may refer either to a segment of the meridian or to its length. I don't know. Anyway,
It's
so
length of the curve or the length of the straight line?
I have no idea.
It doesn't say, does it?
It says
I think you're missing
curve.
stuff out there. Can you stop missing shit out? It doesn't make any sense what you're saying. Even you don't know what you're saying.
I mean,
You're
don't
reading
know.
Google.
Anyway,
And then
let me
saying you
just
don't
let me
understand
just
what that
okay. We can
means.
come back to meridian arcs, and I'm just wondering why they're even bringing it up. Which in 1669, Jean Picard.
You're the one that's bringing it up.
Which in
You're the one that's reading it.
Which in 1669, Jean Picard determined to have a radius of about 3,269,000 toises.
A radius?
A radius.
Radius of what?
The Earth, I guess. The radius of the Earth is 3 million, about 3 million toises. I don't know what a toise is. I mean, the word toise was brought up before. So what is a toise? A toise is a unit of measure for length, area, and volume originating in pre-revolutionary France. In North America, it was used in colonial French establishments in early New France, French Louisiana, Acadia, and Quebec. I don't know.
I like Arcadia. That sounds good.
Never heard of it. Anyway, treated as a simple sphere. Well, that's the assumption. He is assuming the Earth is a simple sphere. In the 18th century, geodesy grew in importance as a means of empirically demonstrating the theory of gravity, which Émile du Châtelet promoted in France in combination with Leibniz's mathematical work.
What time's that? 1730-ish, something like that.
Leibniz, they don't mention the time. Let me see this guy. I don't know. There's I would have to go. I don't know what year this is. But they're saying it's in the bless you, in the 18th century. And because the radius of the Earth was the unit to which all celestial distances were to be referred.
It's what? A celestial distance?
Look, I don't know. The point is,
what's that?
I don't know. This is.
Well, you're reading it. Come on.
I am. Yeah.
You can't just be reading stuff out of Google without knowing all about it, and then keep saying, "Well, I don't know why I'm reading."
Okay, but you wanted the history of the definitions. I was reading.
You've not come up with when it first started, really. I
mean,
we what's
did.
A meter? No, you've not even said that yet.
No, we said it. So again, in 1671, Jean Picard measured the length of a seconds pendulum and proposed a unit of measurement twice that length to be called universal toise. In 1675, Tito Livio Borati suggested the term meter. So in 1675, the word meter was introduced. It's twice the length of that pendulum. But then it was discovered that the length of a second
twice the length of the actual swing, or the length
it's twice, of the arm. But then it was discovered that the length of a second's pendulum varies from place to place. So the next paragraph is.
So that's not a meter yet.
What do you mean? That's
not. They're not talking about a meter there, because
what do you mean?
They're talking about a toise. Right,
no.
And you said that toise then changed length because they were finding it to a pendulum.
Not exactly.
So when's the meter come in?
Here, I'll paste it. So again, in 1671, Jean Picard measured the length of a second's pendulum and proposed a unit of measurement twice that length to be called universal toise. Toise
Not a
universelle.
meter.
Listen, in 1675, Tito Livio Burattini suggested the term meter for a unit of length based on a pendulum length. But then it was discovered that the length of a second's pendulum varies from place to place. But that's the introduction. In 1675, he continued the work of
Where on earth did you get that source from?
This is Wikipedia.
Okay, because when you actually look into it and use the Britannica,
Mm-hmm.
it says the meter was historically defined by the French Academy of Sciences in 1791.
Yeah, so like I said, he
That's-
hasn't got there
That's
yet.
over 100 years later. We're looking at the history of the definition right now.
Yeah, but I'm asking you for when the fucking meter first came in.
That's it. I just pasted it. You can see it. It was a guy by the name of Tito Livio
1791.
Burattini. So it was Burattini.
Do
I don't
you
know.
usually use Wikipedia as an actual source?
What do you mean actual? I don't know what the word actual.
You do know that Wikipedia can be edited and written by anybody.
I don't know too much about Wikipedia's protocol. I'm sorry.
It's not a dictionary. It is a
I-
collection of anybody can write anything
I
about
don't know.
anything.
I don't know the protocol. I don't know. I don't know.
So you don't know your sources.
I'd never looked into the workings of any encyclopedic organization. As far as I know, Encyclopedia Britannica is a private organization, and so is Wikipedia. They're both private organizations. You can do with it as you will. It's just two competing bodies.
So what in 1791? What did they define the meter as?
In 1791, I didn't see 1791. Let me look. 1791. There it is. Let me copy paste it. So we never got to this. This is the next
That's what I
paragraph.
said. You never got there.
It's the next
You even
paragraph.
got there.
It's the
You
next
went
paragraph.
backwards.
It's the next paragraph. So as a result of the Lumière, so what is the Lumière? Lumière was a cultural, philosophical, literary, and intellectual movement beginning in the second half of the 17th century, originating in Western Europe and spreading throughout the rest of Europe. It included philosophers such as Baruch Spinoza, David Hume. I guess the next one is John Locke. Anyway, so as a result of the Lumière and during the French Revolution, the French Academy of Sciences charged
The
a
Enlightenment.
Oh, that's the Enlightenment. All right. Commission with determining a single scale for all measures. On 7 October 1790, that's a year before 1791, that commission advised the adoption of a decimal system, and on 19 March 1791, advised the adoption of the term mètre, measure, as a basic unit of length, which they defined as equal to 1/10 millionth of the quarter meridian, the distance between the North Pole and the equator along the meridian through Paris. On 26 March 1791, the French National Constituent Assembly adopted the proposal. This is just, politics. So a meter is just politics.
So what all they did was, right, they measured the quarter, right, and then they divided it up by 10 million, and then hey presto, you've got a meter.
Whatever. They didn't go into the details of how. No one here says they measured.
That's what he said.
No, it doesn't say they
how
measured.
how do you get a 10 millionth?
Look, they didn't.
You've got to start out with the whole.
Look, the point,
right, to be able to divide the whole into 10 millions, right, to the part.
Look,
you need you need the whole to define the part.
Fine. Look, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day,
So that's what they did.
fine.
It's
At
just
the
a
end-
simple calculation once you've got the total distance.
Yes, yes.
I mean, if
yeah.
you haven't got a meter to start off with, though, so I mean, you must have like a quarter. You just say we've got a quarter Earth,
Look, the point is that
and we'll
this is-
divide that by. Well, in fact, you just say we've got an Earth,
Look, the
and
point.
then we'll divide that by 4, and then we'll divide that by
Look,
10 million, and then
yes.
hey presto, a meter.
Yes, yes. My point is that the meter is a social construct. That's my point.
Oh yeah, they added
What?
a bit, didn't they? Because
What?
obviously it's a little bit chubbier,
I don't
so it
understand.
gained a little bit of size.
I don't
So
know.
you
What,
have got to add a bit on afterwards.
I have no idea what you're saying now. Look, my point.
Scientific method,
Look, my point is that
new science.
Let me finish the sentence 1 second. My point is that the meter is a social construct. Do you agree or disagree with that?
It's a distance measurement.
Wait, do you agree or disagree? I'm not saying it. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just asking you. Do you agree or disagree that the meter is a social construct?
I'm saying it is
I'm
an
not-
actual distance.
I don't
Now,
know
if
what-
you want to treat that as a social construct,
do you
I mean,
mean?
I'm going to say it's a ruler in the corner of my room. Whatever you decide socially in your social consensus about how you want to construct your image of a meter, that's
All
fine
right,
by me.
all right,
I'm saying I've got a ruler in the corner of my room. I can actually measure it. Straight
Okay,
line.
I think we're at this point we're going in circles. I think I've proven my case beyond any reasonable doubt. So I don't know what to.
Oh, do you?
I don't know what else to say. I
Do you
mean,
know what your case was?
yes, the meter is a social construct, like everything else.
It was how you would scientifically define or carry out the scientific method for establishing what a meter is scientifically. But you've just
Whatever-
decided to give up and say it's just a social construct. We'll go
No,
with whatever anybody
no.
says it is.
No, I'm not. I
Again,
never-
you do seem a bit flaky in your debate style.
All right, whatever. Look, I made my case. You are not responding to my case. You're not denying my case. You're not denying
You
that.
use
Your case
very-
is just
you use-
go on.
Yeah, you used very, very bad citations, bad sources. You were arguing from a point like what you're talking about is wrong. You need to go back and check your sources. So I don't know how you think this is a win.
But even you brought up Encyclopedia Britannica. So even according to you, it is equal to approximately 39.337 inches in the British Imperial and United States customary systems. I mean, these are social constructs. The United States is a social construct. The British Imperial is a social construct. The meter was historically defined by the French Academy, another social
No,
construct.
the British Imperial is like it's a British Imperial measurement, right? It's a standard, but it doesn't work
Yes,
for
it's a
people in
social
Japan.
construct.
They
These are
don't know
all-
nothing about it.
These are
right?
all social
So they
constructs.
what they decided to do was standardize a standard
Fine,
for
but
everyone.
it's these
They
people.
call that a meter.
Yes, these people.
Could you give an example of not what was it you said?
Social construct.
Yeah, could you give me an example of something that is not a social construct?
No, I
please?
can't. Everything is a social construct.
Everything is a
Yes.
social construct.
Yes.
Okay. There we go. That's just all I wanted to hear you say.
All right. Any further questions?
I think that's.
I think
why
I
we
made
have
my
the,
case. I
the
mean, we
law of
det-
identity problem.
We
'cause
no
it
nothing
just
to
turns
do.
into a-
No, nothing to do with
Everything
the
turns into a social
law.
construct.
No. We proved that the meter is a social construct. We proved. We went through an
I don't
hour.
think you understand what proof is.
We went through
In
an
fact,
hour.
I know that you do not know what proof is.
That's okay. We went through an hour of
Because
reading.
your proof is actually a social construct, isn't it? That you make up for yourself.
All right.
Self-individualized.
Okay.
social
Whatever. Okay.
construct.
If you're not at this point, I mean, you're not responding to my claim that the meter is a social construct. So I don't know what else to do at this point. Anyway,
I am responding. I'm
No,
just
you're
saying
not.
that's a load of bullshit. You're just not
You're
happy
not
with it.
You're not changing my mind.
You're not happy.
We went through.
I don't think anyone can change your mind. If that's
That's
when we weren't debating
right.
a meter.
okay.
Or
Look, I
will
gotta.
you put that as one of your topics?
All right, I gotta go.
There we go.
Thank you for your
It's an
time.
overtime.
What?
It's overtime, isn't it? Or did you start late?
Yeah, I started late.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much for your time, everyone. I'll see you
Okay.
maybe tomorrow, I guess. Have a
You
great.
sound deflated. Don't be so upset. It's all right. It'll get better. It'll get
I
better.
don't know what you're talking about. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.
Anyway, that was, as usual, very emotional. It's unbelievable how people hate social constructs. When you tell them a meter is a social construct, they lose their shit. They can't handle it. People need there to be objective truth. They hold on with dear life to objective truth, even when you prove to them beyond any reasonable doubt. You can't. There is no objective truth. A meter is a social construct. What are you gonna? We just went through an hour of reading how people came up with the meter. They just invented it out of whole cloth. But no, the meter exists. It's an ideal. It exists. You cannot take it away from these people. Anyway, I have nothing left to say except for that's it. Everything is a social construct, as far as I can tell, because everything, right? Everything we can ever discuss is in words in English or any language. Language is a social construct, so there you go. So everything we could ever discuss has to be a social construct. I cannot understand it any other way. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in to another day in the interesting life of Mr. Slave. Oh, we're still 51 minutes, so haven't been an hour. Let's cut it short because I gotta get some work done. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.